Hey, it's Alpita, and welcome to Thriving Thursday. I'm gonna make this quick because it's hot in my room. Oh, I got the fan on. I mean, it's not as bad as it was Fourth of July week, but here in Connecticut, with the haze from the Canadian wildfires and the heat wave, it's pretty warm. So today I wanted to talk about today's Thriving Thursday, a new feature that I've started doing. And I want us to really focus on not just money, but thriving. Like, what does it look like to prosper? And prosper means to do well, right? Um, okay, I'm gonna look at where's my phone? Oh, where'd that pesky phone go? I love to ser- um to Google or to look stuff up. Okay. Um, so hold on. Let's see. Merriam-Webster dictionary. The definition of thrive. Okay. To grow, develop well or vigorously, prosper, flourish. Okay. Interesting, right? And prosper means to succeed in material terms, be financially successful, flourish physically, grow strong and healthy. Okay. So this is what I want to talk about on these days, okay? Um on Thursdays. So okay. I was just looking at a message. So it is important to focus on thriving and prospering. I've talked about this before. We live in a material freaking world. We need money in order to buy food and to pay for our housing and things like that. There is nothing wrong with that, right? So we need to let go of the fact that having worldly possessions, having material possessions, having money is bad or wrong. Hoarding money, exploiting people for money, scamming people for money, those are bad things, right? Greed for the sake of greed. Okay. And even having lots of money is not a bad thing when one, what you're doing to get your money is ethical, and two, you're using it in a way that benefits people. Okay. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be charitable and give it all away, but it's like, are you using that money for good? For yourself? Okay, a lot of times we're told if you want money just for yourself, that's selfish. You need to have money, noble goals are to pay your bills, to get out of debt, to tithe. And yeah, those are good things, but like, how about making your life easier? We're not here to struggle. I do not believe in that. I don't. I believe that we struggle when we don't listen to our intuition, when we go against the callings of our soul. Okay? Yes, there are sometimes things that happen that are out of our control. Okay? Sometimes our intuition doesn't tell us that something bad's going to happen. Sometimes there's no warning, there's no rhyme or reason as to why something bad happened. Okay? But I do believe overall we are here to enjoy life, that this is Eden. Seriously. Look around. Look at like the beautiful trees and the sunlight and all the amazing animals and fruits and vegetables. How is this not Eden? How is this not the Garden of Eden? And I don't want to get all biblical, but what if the Garden of Eden never went away? We just forgot. What if we just forgot that we were in the Garden of Eden? Maybe the sin of the snake was that it had to be difficult. I'm just putting some thoughts out there. Okay. For me, letting go and moving into the next level of my life, the next chapter, is allowing people to support me. Okay. And that means mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. Because what do you think your clients are and your customers? They are supporting you financially. Yes, you are doing something for it. But when you believe that you have to do everything on your own, life becomes difficult. Life becomes full of limitations. And then if you're a single mom like me, then you get resentful because you have to do everything yourself. Well, if you say that you have to do everything yourself and then you create that, how can you get mad? What we really mean is we want people to help without us needing to ask for help, and that doesn't always happen. Okay, like I had a conversation with my son this morning, and he's like, "Well, you usually order the cat litter." I'm like, "I know, but I don't always go down into that hallway where the cat litter is." And it was in my Target uh, cart for when I ordered groceries this week. Okay, he's like, "Well, you usually take care of it," and I'm like, "Okay, but doing the cat litter is your job. He gets paid $2 a week to scoop the litter box at least 6 days a week. So cleaning up the cat litter out of the off the floor, cleaning, emptying the mat that is in front of the cat litter, especially the one in the second bathroom. He's like, "Well, I didn't know. You didn't tell me that." I find that hard to believe, but he could have forgotten, right? So it's like I'm on a live laptop. Little one wants to use my laptop. It's like having clear expectations, having clear boundaries. And a lot of times especially with children, not so much with adults, we don't want to have to remind adults every single time that something needs to be done, right? But sometimes we all need reminders. I forget shit. I ignored an alarm. And yeah, I missed a window of opportunity for. I'm taking this medication and or supplement, and the second supplement has to be taken by 2, and I totally forgot. So I didn't take it today. My second dose. We all need reminders. Life is busy. Is full of distractions, and I'm not just talking about social media. Sometimes it's the heat. Sometimes it's the load of laundry. Sometimes it's, oh, why the fuck is this shit on the floor, right? So it's like, for me, in order for me to move into a life of ease, a life where I actually have time to enjoy myself and have some fun, which is happening more and more because that's what I'm focusing on, I have to let go of the belief that I have to do everything myself, even as a single mom, especially as a single mom, right? And that means giving my children reminders. It means being more clear on what I expect of them. Sometimes it means reaching out to a friend when I need someone to talk to, or asking someone for the sale, right? Asking them, "Hey, you seem like you're interested in what we were talking about the other day. Are you interested in a reading or this or that?" Okay. Allowing myself to be supported. And it doesn't mean that I'm incapable. It doesn't mean that I'm still not doing a large chunk of it on my own. But I cannot create full ease if I have to do every single thing myself. There are not enough hours in the day. Okay. And sometimes it's like yesterday, I was just like, okay, this is the one thing that I have to get accomplished today. And just every time, like a little kid, like, "Oh, come over here. Come over here. Yeah, go take a nap. Okay, come over here." Because even though the heat and the haze are a lot on my body, right, and my mind, but there's still sometimes I have to get things done. And it doesn't mean that I deny the needs of my body and my mind and my heart. It means that sometimes I just need to pace myself. Okay? But I am willing to let go of this identity that I have to do everything myself. And with that comes come the beliefs of like, there's no one to help me. There, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Like, there's a whole list of beliefs there that need to be retired. I think that's a good way of thinking of it. Retiring. Like, those beliefs served me well. They've gotten me this far. But they are not going to get me to the next level of having a supportive partner, of having children that help out, that having, a flourishing business, of having more time to myself, having more energy, accomplishing more. I know I can accomplish more when I have support. And I can rest more when I have support because I don't have to do everything myself. Okay. And for those of you that are into the astrological realm and have been following what's going on with this planetary configuration called Barbault's basket, if you're not familiar with it, over the next 10 days, starting, some people say yesterday, some people say today, but regardless, it's already started. Our outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Jupiter, Jupiter's in Leo, and Uranus, whatever you want to call it, are all stationing at 4 degrees in the sign that they're in. And all the little aspects that are going on between them create this basket. You can go look it up. It's called Barbault's basket. Okay. Barault. It's a French word. Okay. And there's a lot going on there. But one of the themes is letting go. And I actually screenshotted something from someone else. So let me share that with you now. Hold on. Because it's kind of hard to remember everything. Okay, here we go. It's Barbault. Barbault's basket. So this particular astrologer, Maya White, says it's July 18th. Most of the stuff that I've seen has been the 15th or the 16th. I know I'm already feeling it. And as a 12th house Aquarius sun, I tend to feel things before everybody else does because, I'm in the subconscious and feeling the collective unconscious of the 12th house. But as the days move, we'll all be. And so this is a planetary alignment that has, I don't know if it's never happened, but it's definitely has not happened in a long, long time, if it's ever happened. It says, the heavens form one of the most remarkable planetary patterns of our lifetime, Barbault's basket. This rare configuration occurs as the 4 outer planets each occupy 4 degrees of their respective signs, creating an elegant network of harmonious aspects that astrologer Andre Barbault believes signaled a profound turning point in human history. Now, Barbault did, before he died, he predicted COVID-19 in 2020. Okay. Among other things, right? Some Cold War stuff, the fall of the Soviet Union, things like that. Barbault earned respect for his remarkable, accurate forecasts of several major world events, including the fall of the Soviet Union, the 2028 financial crisis, and the global pandemic. Looking ahead to July 2026, he described this alignment as the beginning of a splendid relaunch of civilization. The symbolism is striking. Pluto in Aquarius transforms collective systems. Neptune in Aries inspires courageous new visions. Uranus in Gemini revolutionizes communication and technology. Jupiter in Leo reminds us that true progress must be guided by creativity, generosity, and heart. Together, these planets suggest that meaningful change comes not through chaos alone, but through inspired cooperation. So is it any surprise that my intuition is telling me that in order for me to have a life where I feel supported mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, environmentally, every which way, where I am and feel supported, that I need to let other people help me. Not because I can't do it alone. I've been doing it alone most of my life. Even when I've had a partner, I've felt alone. I am tired of feeling alone. Okay? So, but that comes from letting go of this idea that, I'm the only one who can do stuff. Okay? Like there was a mess this morning and I cleaned up part of it because I needed to clean up part of it, and then I asked my son to pick up the stuff that was laying on the ground because there was a bunch of Legos and stuff, and to run the mop. And it's something he definitely can handle. It's like, I shouldn't have to do it all, and I shouldn't have to do it all on my own. So it's a shift in consciousness, unconscious to subconscious, and then a shift in our actions. This is why, like, I really struggle with understanding things like behavioral therapy modification. Cognitive behavioral therapy is interesting, but like your thoughts, your beliefs must precede. Because if you just change your action to just change your action, it's not sustainable. But when you get your subconscious on board, when you change your beliefs, and like, let's say you want to drink more water, okay? I know it's a simple example, but I've got it right here. Okay. So maybe it's like, oh, I should drink however much water is recommended by whoever fucking recommends this shit. For some people that's meaningful and that's important. To me, it's like, no, I know that when I don't drink enough water, when I'm thirsty, when I'm hungry, when I'm tired, when I haven't moved my body, right? When my body is not getting what she needs, I am hangry. Like, think of those Snickers commercials, right, with the late Betty White. I get hangry, and then I have a short fuse. I get impatient. I get frustrated. Not to say that I normally don't get impatient and frustrated, but I'm just saying that when my body is not getting what she needs, my fuse is shorter. I'm less tolerant of anything and everything. Okay? So I don't like that, because then I tend to yell at people. I get frustrated with myself. I abandon things that I want to complete because I'm like, okay, I just can't. I don't like being that way. And so instead of thinking, oh, well, your body needs water, if you're already thirsty, you're already dehydrated, blah, 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 because that stuff is like, yeah, I hear it. I'm like, oh, yeah, 2 + 2 = 4 doesn't fucking mean anything, right? It's just a bunch of words and it's an abstract concept. But when I think about my body, and I know that when, number one, drinking water feels good. I love the cold water running down my throat. It feels good, right? And then I don't feel as dry. I don't feel as cranky. I feel energized. Sometimes just drinking cold water will just give me a little boost of energy, right? It's refreshing, especially on a day like today. Speaking of which, I am going to have a sip of water because but here's the thing. The conscious mind, the subconscious needs to change. Right? The subconscious, our beliefs. Right? Like, I know for me with water, and I'm using this simple example for a reason. Okay? Sometimes I don't drink a lot of water. It's going to sound silly, but it's a legit concern for a woman of my age, and just the shit that I got to get done is because then I got to go to the bathroom all the fucking time. But when I'm actually fully hydrated, I don't have to go to the bathroom all the time. It's when I'm dehydrated that, like, it causes the water to move. And also, like, putting in a little bit of Celtic sea salt into your water, it doesn't have to be the whole bottle, it could just be a little bit, will help replenish your electrolytes and help you actually use the water that you drink. Okay, but this water is ice cold, even though I put it in here 2 hours ago. And I have this water bottle. It's purple, like most of my things, right? And it's this brand. I don't know what the brand is. I'll tell you in a second. It's Kono Keio. It's stainless steel. It's easy to, and I don't, and it comes with, this is the pour one. It also has this really cool feature, so like to carry it and shit. But there, it comes with two tops. So one has the straw. I don't like that. I don't even like that because it like, what happens is when you pour design, personally for this thing, is that your nose hits the thing. My nose hits the thing, so I don't like that. I just unscrew the whole fucking thing. But it keeps my water ice cold for hours. Sometimes I'll put water in here at like 9 o'clock at night and I'll drink it like 12 hours later and it's still fucking cold. Right? And it holds a lot. How much does it hold? Um, 25 ounces. Right? It's dishwasher safe, etc. It's stainless steel, blah, blah, blah. So, what does this have to do with Barbault's basket? What does this have to do? It's setting yourself up for success. It's not just shifting your beliefs, okay? It's having the fucking water bottle, a water bottle that actually supports you. Creating an environment. I actually made little freaking coasters. This one is a paw print. It's velvet on the back, so that I can have my water here, so it's not damaging my fucking desktop. So sometimes we need to take some time and set ourselves up for success. When I'm here, I have my little light here, okay? And it's really interesting because it's got a magnifying glass. So when I bead and it works, and it's got a clamp, right? I've got my cord here. I've got my phone here. I've got this thing that holds like papers and stuff, but it's got a drawer, and I got my cards here. Setting yourself up for success. This is part of what Barbault's basket is about. Okay? It's like when all these things align, are you ready to let go? And as I was like getting ready to start this, the image that I got as a clairvoyant is kind of like the monkey bars. If you want to get to the other side, you've got to let go. You reach for the next rung, you grab the next rung, but you gotta let go of this one so that you could reach for the next one. That's what's happening in the next 2 weeks. Week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever you believe. Between now and the end of July. The universe is asking you to shift your mindset. If you really want the thing that you say you want, you have to let go of something. And it's usually an identity. And that identity has all these beliefs attached to it. So for me, it's the self-reliant, the hyper-independent identity. And it doesn't mean that if I need her, she's not fucking there. And like I said before about retiring, it's not about dismissing your inner child. It's not about dissolving those parts of you that are so-called sabotaging you, because they're really not sabotaging you. They're trying to keep you safe. Every part of you that gets in the way is trying to protect you. But is it a 2-year-old that's trying to protect you because this is what she learned would keep her safe, and now you don't need that? So it's not telling her she's wrong, telling your inner children that they're wrong. It's saying, hey, honey, I dealt with one of mine, and I was like, honey, you can put the axe down. We safe now. We are safe now. You can put the axe down. And it was just an interesting conversation with this part of myself that was always like ready to cut someone down. And if you know anything about Aquariuses, let me tell you, I don't really start shit, but if you start shit, I will finish it. And you will probably not be the same person you were when you started that conversation. Because that laundry list of shit that I've been keeping track of and not having said is going to come out, and I'm going to read you the riot act, and you're going to not even know who the fuck you are at the end of the conversation. And I don't mean that as a threat. I'm just telling you this is who I am. I remember everything. I remember every conversation, every way you made me feel, and if you push me to that point, I will be pulling out the papyrus. Okay? And that's that part of me. That part of me that's always got the axe sharp. You threaten me, you threaten my family, I'm going to come for you. And physical harm is not, you don't wish for physical harm. Because Aquarius, remember, rules the mind. And so the psychological and emotional and verbal damage that we do is unprecedented. Okay? So, and it's not the part of me that I enjoy coming out. Okay. So it's like I had to have a conversation and talk her down, be like, honey, we are safe. We don't need to do this anymore. You can put the axe down. You can retire. You can take a break. Maybe not necessarily retire, but like you could take a break. I'll call you when I need you. Don't call me. Don't call us. We'll call you. Right? So it's that hyper vigilant, hyper independent part of me that had to keep me safe. Okay? And that's the part of me that it's not so much let go, but it's kind of like I don't want to say put her in her place because that feels so derogatory, but it's like, hey, you put the axe down. We're okay. We're safe now. Okay? I got this. Okay? So there's a part of you that needs to be kind of talked down off the ledge to let go of that identity that is in the forefront. And now it may sound like split personality. It's not. We all have these parts of us, these and this is where like I get really angry when people talk about authenticity. That part of me is authentic. It is absolutely fucking authentic. That is part of my survival mechanism. That's how I fucking survived a very traumatic childhood. It is authentic. What's not authentic about it is that I'm not in that traumatic environment anymore. Okay? She perceives, she's got a hairpin trigger. Okay? Anything that reminds her of that, she's like ready to attack, right? So it's like telling that part of ourselves that we're not there anymore. This person isn't that person, that we are safe, and it's okay. It's okay to let people in. Okay? And also trusting your intuition. I had a client many years ago who said something about learning to trust people. And I was like, no, that's not the problem, honey. The problem is not that you can't trust people. It's that you don't have people to trust. We don't want to disarm the part of us that sees things, hears things, and feels things and senses things. Okay? Because I want that Lizzie Borden part of me to be there in case I need her. I just don't want her ruling the show every time somebody says something I don't like. Because I cannot like something and still be safe. I cannot like something and that person not being a threat to me. Right? So that took a lot of time of healing myself, but also like really trusting my intuition. Because my intuition says that person is not good for me, then I know that's the person I can't trust, or that's a person I don't want in my life. So by putting that hypervigilant part of myself kind of like on a little hiatus, giving her the summer off, saying, hey, listen, if I need you, I know where you are, then my vibration, my energy changes. I'm not always looking for someone to hurt me or take advantage of me or threaten me in some way, shape, or form. And so now I can allow support in. Because a lot of times these parts of us, they're not just protecting us from the bad shit. They're protecting us from everything. They don't know what is good or bad. Because at the time that we created that part of us, or that part of us split off, or whatever, however you believe, everybody didn't feel safe. We didn't know who we could trust. We didn't know who we could turn to. Okay? And if you continue to live that way, then you deny yourself support. And then you become like me, or the way that I have been, where it's like I have to do everything myself. Okay? And then you don't feel supported. Because because you're not allowing support in. Because you're afraid that if you allow support in, that they're going to turn around and stab you in the back, that they're going to take advantage of you, that there's a price to pay, there's a hidden agenda, there's a hidden invoice coming to be due at some point. I actually uncovered a belief that receiving equals debt. And then I look at my history of like all the credit card debt that I accumulated in my first marriage. And it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. If I wanted something, I had to go into debt for it. I had to pay for it. Okay? And as I started to heal and unravel these things, I'm like, that doesn't have to be true. I can receive because someone wants to give. Sometimes the transaction part of it, because every sort of exchange is a transaction. It's not transactional as in like, you know, like a store, but it's like I think about like when I donate stuff to like Savers is the place where I usually. Okay. That is a transaction. Okay. They're taking my stuff that I normal no, and I actually have 4 bags in the car. Maybe it's my intuition telling me to stop and drop that stuff off. I'm giving them things because I no longer need them, and they are receiving them because they need merchandise. That's a transaction. Okay? So there's always a give and take. There's always some sort of energy exchange, and that's what a transaction is. Okay? So allowing people to give to me, whether it's money or emotional support or advice or attention, affection, they're receiving something. Just like when I give my kids a hug, it makes me feel good. I feel that love I have within me because as I give it to them, I feel it. Okay? So not being afraid of things being in exchange. Not being afraid of being supported. And knowing that my intuition, that inner part of me that's got that axe sharpened, she's not my intuition, but she's a part of me, right? That keeps me safe, right? That if I need her, she's there. She'll spring into action, just like I spring into action as a mama bear when I feel like my kids are being disrespected or in some sort of harm's way. But I don't need her to be leading the charge in every conversation, every interaction. Not everything, not every email, not every text, not every communication uh, needs a sharpened axe to start the conversation. Like imagine if going to the grocery store you showed up with a sharpened axe. Obviously they wouldn't let you in. It's not an appropriate situation. So it's kind of like teaching her in a manner of speaking, be like, hey, hon, there are times that it is appropriate for her to come out and put people in their place and be like, just because I don't point out everything you do doesn't mean I'm not keeping track here and going to speak up when I feel like you've overstayed your welcome or you've overstepped my boundaries. But she doesn't need to come out every time a text comes in or an email comes in or every time I need to do a task. It's okay for her to put the axe down and relax. And that's part of this Barbault's basket. What part of your identity do you need to let go of and her subsequent beliefs in order to receive what is coming your way? Because we do have Jupiter in Leo. And that is bountiful blessings. It is prosperity. It is thriving. And what that means for each person is going to mean different things. Okay? It's not everybody's going to win the fucking lottery or find a treasure chest in their backyard. For some, it's finding a partner. For some people, it's getting a better job. For some people, it's, something that's been delayed coming through. We still have Mercury in retrograde. And we also have Saturn going to be doing his thing very soon too, next week. Which we'll be talking about that next week. Okay? So it's like if what you keep putting out there to manifest isn't showing up, it's like, okay, what part of me is getting in the way? What part of me is trying to protect me from harm, but diverting all my good as well? Okay? So that's what I want you to think about over the next, 15 days. till the end of the month. Okay. Like, what would thriving look like? What would prosperity look like? Yes, in the financial sense, but also in the emotional sense, in the mental sense, in the physical sense. Like, I don't want to work 80 hours a week. Fuck, I don't even want to work 20 hours a week. Okay. And I don't have to, because the transformation I create for my client, like I just did a clearing for a client of mine. It took 11 minutes and 39 seconds. And I can't wait to hear what the results were. When I do a crystal chakra clearing, they're about 10 minutes, and people have profound shifts, mental, emotional, physical shifts. 10 minutes. Things don't have to take a long time, right? So I don't need to work 30 hours or 40 hours or 80 hours. A 20-minute reading can shift the trajectory of somebody's life. I've done it over and over fucking again. Even just a 15-minute conversation. I'm going to leave you with this story because it came up the other day. So back in 2017, I was going to a networking group. And I sat down with the woman who created the networking group, and we were having a conversation because she wanted to promote me, so she wanted to know more about my business. And I wanted to sit down with her because every time she talked about her business, I felt nauseous, like literally wanted to throw up in my mouth. And as an empath, I know that's coming from somewhere, and I was just kind of curious where it was coming from. Sometimes it's my own shit, right? Like what she's selling is not something that's in alignment with me, right? But I felt like it had deeper roots. And we started talking, and she did direct sales for a makeup company. And I was like, oh, do you love what you do? She's like, oh yeah, I love this makeup. I use it. It's, I love this. And I feel like women should have high quality makeup at an affordable price. I'm like, awesome. And I said to her, because I don't fucking beat around the bush, I was just like, every time you talk about your business, I feel nauseous. Like, what is that about? And she starts laughing because she's never had a conversation with me like this. Okay. And this was just a conversation. It wasn't a paid consultation or anything like that. No money exchanged hands. And she starts laughing. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good. She's at least not offended. She started laughing. She's like, I hate putting makeup on people's faces. She's like, it makes me want to throw up in my mouth. She doesn't like the texture of touching, like putting foundation and, because a lot of these makeup companies want you to do a facial when you're demoing the products. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I hear you. And I was like, well, have you ever thought about selling to makeup artists? Because they're going to want to demo the product themselves, and like, you're not just gaining a consultant, you're gaining like tons of clients underneath her, right? And she starts laughing again. And I was like, okay, what's funny now? And she goes, 4 out of my 11 consultants are makeup artists. I'm like, see, you're already doing it. The 80-20 principle, right? 80% of our results come from 20% of our effort. It's also called the Pareto principle. And I was like, we'll do more of that. Just market to makeup artists. Okay. And then I sat down with her, and we came up with, I think it was like 36. It might have been more or less. I don't remember the number, but I remember it was a significant list of what I now have realized, which I was doing naturally. I didn't know this was a thing. It's called hub marketing. So it's where you go and you look at like, where are sister industries, right? Like the Venn diagram, like I do this, you do this, and we have clients that like, use both of us, right? So we looked at where would we find makeup artists. So everybody in the wedding industry, right? Photographers know a makeup artist. Sometimes a venue knows a photographer who knows a makeup artist, right? 6 degrees of separation. If you've ever played that Kevin Bacon thing, or if you know the concept of 6 degrees separation, the concept of 6 degrees of separation is that you can connect yourself to almost anybody on the planet with it reason. Because if you're talking about tribes that are not connected to the outside world, it doesn't work. But it's like through 6 degrees of separation. Okay. Like my brother-in-law has actually met former President Obama. So I am 1 degree of separation. My brother-in-law is that degree. between me and President Obama. One of my teachers in high school and former mayor of Danbury has met the Pope. So again, 1 degree of separation. See what I mean? Like, you can do this all day. So that's what you're doing with hub marketing. You're saying, who do I know that knows a makeup artist? Who do I know who knows somebody that knows a makeup artist? And you could go out 6 degrees. So florists, right? We also talked about, like, website designers need a bio, and a bio needs a picture. So a picture needs a photographer. A photographer knows a makeup artist, right? And then we looked at spas and salons, the usual places, right? And I'm sure there were other things. I don't remember. This was years ago. It was 2017. So anyway, fast forward 3 months later, I run into her again. I hadn't been going to the meetings because I had a car accident and wasn't able to go. And turns out she quadrupled her team. So from 11 people to 44 people. And tripled her income without selling any makeup. Okay? So sometimes it's not about the amount of time we give people. It's about literally listening to what is going on, what is getting in the way, and not necessarily, like, contrary to what I talked about at the beginning of this live, it wasn't about letting go of this identity that didn't like touching people's skin and putting makeup on their face. It's about embracing that part of her. It's about letting go of the identity that she had to do what her uplines in the company was saying. It's like, lean into who you are, right? Like, I'm not looking to get rid of that part of me that wants to keep me safe. We don't want to get rid of her. She does an amazing fucking job. We just don't want her greeting everybody at the fucking door because that scares people away. And sometimes people don't approach when they see a personality that's got a fucking sharpened axe. So it's like, so this is a different approach, right? It's like, it's kind of the same thing. So, right? So for her, she needed to get out of her own way and stop judging the way that she was. She didn't need to embrace putting makeup on people's faces. She needed to embrace the fact that it was not in alignment with who she was, and she needed to find a different strategy. So when I look at my business, I want to create more moments like those. I want to create more transformation like that. I don't want to have clients that I'm spending hours with, although I do enjoy that because I do have clients that I do spend more time with because sometimes they need that in the beginning. But I want to have amazing transformations like that. And I want to get paid well for it. Because literally, like, from a 15-minute free conversation to triple your income and quadruple your team in 3 months, that's pretty fucking impressive. No coach has ever done that for me, I will tell you that. And I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaches and books and courses and shit like that. Okay? So it's like, what do we need to let go of? Is it a belief? Is it an identity? Is it something that you say? Right? Like, one of the things that I say that is part of that identity is I felt like I was constantly Cinderella. Right? Before she goes to the ball, she's Cinderella. Her name actually is Ella. Right? And they call her Cinder or Cinderella because she's sweeping the fireplace. I always felt like I was the one doing the chores because as a girl, the only girl in my house, I was an only child, firstborn, only born, eldest born, whatever you want to call it, in a Greek household, Greek immigrant household. I was mom's helper. I cooked, I cleaned, I vacuumed from a very, very young age. Okay. And then that became part of my personality. Constantly cleaning up after people. Constantly anticipating other people's needs. I mean, there was other shit going on as well. But, like, anyway. And it's like, how do I let that go without taking my children's childhood away and making my children feel like they're stepping into that role? Okay. And sometimes it's like this morning where it's like, okay, I'm going to clean this part of it. Okay. You can do the rest. It's sharing the load, which is exactly what I want to create in my life, is sharing the load, feeling supported, okay? Having a partner that shares the load, okay? So it's like that's what this Barbault's basket is asking you. What do you need to let go of? How do you need to do things differently in order to step into that prosperity that you have been asking for a long motherfucking time? How do you get out of your own way? And it's baby steps. It's literally baby steps. It's noticing every time that, oh, Cinderella, oh, I have to do everything around here all the time comes up, and choosing different words, choosing different actions, addressing those things through energy work. It's not just mindset work and changing our behavior, but sometimes it's our energy that needs to change. So that's an Akashic field healing, that's a crystal chakra clearing, that's a past life regression. It it's getting to the root of where this is coming from and releasing it at the source. I don't treat symptoms. I like to go to the root cause. Okay? Sometimes we start with the symptoms because that creates some ease and opens you up, but I like to get to the root of what's causing the problem and help heal it, clear it, cure it, whatever it is it needs. Okay? And whether you work with me or not, I want you to think about this stuff as we move through the next 10 days, 15 days of July. Because I guarantee you, come July 31st, you are not going to be the same person who started July. You're not. Because this will change you. Whether it's a conscious decision or a subconscious decision, it will change you. Okay? And it will change you through your dreams. It will change you through your words. It will change you through your actions. It will change you through your circumstances. You'll notice that you start to respond differently. And sometimes it's a matter of like you literally wake up the next day and you're just like, okay, who the fuck is this person? Because all of a sudden there's been a shift and you don't understand where it came from. Don't overthink it. Go with it. As long as it is moving you towards the life that you truly desire and benefiting it, don't overthink it. We don't need to always understand the shifts that happen. Okay? We don't always need to understand and judge and need a 20-page dissertation as to what the shift was and why we shifted and what was the thing that I did or thought or whatever that caused the shift. Sometimes that's not really important. The important thing is that we are moving more easily, more joyfully, more freely towards the life that we truly desire, which is prosperity. It's always prosperity. It's always thriving. This is not fucking Earth School. Sorry, not sorry, it's not. This literally is the Garden of Eden. And I think if people kind of started to fucking wake up to that concept, people would start treating this planet better. Because if you think the Garden of Eden is somewhere else, why would you treat this place like it's anything? Mars is not the Garden of Eden. It's a fucking desolate, barren planet. Earth is literally a Garden of Eden. Look around. Roses of every color, every scent. Roses need to smell. Sorry, not sorry, but that's just a fucking fact. Okay? A rose without a smell is not a rose to me. It's just a pretty fucking flower. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Like, But anyway, so, if you're interested more about Barbault's basket, you're welcome to go do your own research. But a lot of it, everything I read is like, okay, get to the nitty gritty. What does this fucking mean? This is a sextile. This is a conjunction. I don't care about that shit. What does this mean for me? How is this going to change my life? And it's already showing up. I already see how I am shifting and changing and showing up differently, thinking differently, acting differently. Okay? Choosing things differently, being differently, because this is about our being. And yes, all those things, our thoughts, our actions, our words, are part of our being. They shape our being, right? But our being shapes those as well. The identity that you believe that you are shapes that. If you woke up tomorrow and decided that you were a queen, some odd reason you woke up and you're like, well, I'm a queen. I don't know why I believe that, but I'm a queen, and started acting like a queen. Let me tell you, your fucking words and your thoughts and your behaviors would change. So what if instead of that, well, if that resonates, go for it, because it's for somebody, you woke up tomorrow and were like, yeah, I'm thriving. I am prosperous. I am flourishing. I am moving through my life with ease and grace and joy. I am always supported mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, environmentally. I am supported in ways that I don't even know. There are people speaking my name in rooms that I have never fucking been in. What if you started to believe that? What if you started to say shit like that to yourself? Things would fucking change. Just like the little engine that could. It's a very profound book. And I reference it all the time. But instead of saying, I think I can, saying, I know I can. I know I can. I know I can thrive. And when you're ready, saying, I am thriving. Even if you're not 100% there. Okay? Because when we pick a destination, we're not sitting there saying, I'm not there yet. Well, if you're a child, you are. You're sitting there and you're saying, this is my destination. I'm going to be there. That's where I'm going. There's no dream life or bust. It's dream life. There's no other option. Everything that happens is supposed to happen. Doesn't matter how many detours, roadblocks, delays there are, how many times I have to stop and pee and get gas and get snacks, I'm on my way. So maybe it's saying something like that. I'm on my way to my dream life. Everything that happens to me is supporting me prospering and flourishing and thriving. Your words matter. The shit that you say to yourself in your head matters. Every time you call yourself an idiot, every time you say you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know what you're talking about, or whatever, or who do you think you are, those are other people's fucking words that you just keep repeating and reinforcing. Stop doing that. If you've got that shit going on in your head, it doesn't matter how many fluffy petals of loveliness affirmations that you say to the mirror, it's not going to change. You got to change what's in here. And sometimes it's toggling back and forth, saying it out loud and then repeating it to yourself in your head, and saying it out loud and repeating it to your head, and then acting that way. If I was thriving, if I was prosperous, what would I wear? What do I have in my wardrobe? Nobody's asking you to go spend thousands of dollars on Dolce & Gabbana when you don't have that money. How would you dress? And I'm not talking about putting your finest gown on to scrub the toilets. Appropriateness. Okay, but how do you step into the new identity that is wanting to come forth? That's already fucking there. Cinderella was always Cinderella. A change of clothes did not make her Cinderella. It helped her see her beauty. It helped her remember who she was before the world told her that she was nothing and no one. That's what's going on with Barbault's basket. You're remembering who you really were. So sometimes it's quieting the noise. Sometimes it's retiring the identities that you've created to keep yourself safe. Or you created because you thought that that's what you were supposed to do, or you thought that's who you were. What if you just allowed yourself to be yourself? All right. I hope this has been helpful. I'd love to hear your insights, your comments, your ahas in the comments. If you'd like to work with me, you can always message me. I'm always available for tarot, crystal chakra clearings, Akasha field healings, past life regressions, and a style of coaching, spiritual guidance that works on all of it. We work on the energetics. We work on the words. We work on the identities. We work on the beliefs. We work on the physical, actual shit that you need to do. Drinking more water, organizing your kitchen, doing your dishes. We work on all of it. Feng shui, creating an environment that supports you, that reflects who you know you are, who you know you're meant to be. We work on all of it because it all matters, because it's all part of the puzzle. Okay? So if that resonates with you, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to work with you and help you really step into the next chapter of your life where you are flourishing, where you are supported, where you are surrounded by people you can trust. Not trying to trust people that you know are not trustworthy. All right. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay cool out there, and I'll catch you next time.